Hi folks, I'm wearing my head cam today to show you a box that arrived from Menards a few weeks ago, and it contains a pre-built, pre-lit O-gauge bridge, and so we're going to check it out today on Eric's Trains. So the features are listed on the side of the box. It's pre-lit, pre-assembled, and ready to go. Lit by LED lights, including 4 red warning lights on the top. Features 3-ply wood construction with intricately detailed posts and railings. Metal base is strong enough to span a 24-inch gap, yet thin enough to sit flat on any existing layout. Interior is 8 inches wide to support 2 sets of train tracks, including fast track, which is Lionel's track. 7 inches of clearance through bridge, and requires a 4.5 volt power source, which is sold separately. And there's a choking hazard. This is not a toy Copa. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. And for today's unboxing, I'll be using my Tops Tenenboka Puko knife. Excellent knife made by Tops. Of course, everything made by Tops is excellent. So. And this knife is made in the USA as well, which is always a nice thing. All right. So it's all packed together, packed very, very nicely, very securely, as you can see. And there it is. So let's go ahead and get it out of this case. Okay, see if we can get it out of here without breaking it. It is made of wood, which is very cool. All right. Well, that's really cool. Check that out. It's got a metal base. I can feel that it's metal on the bottom. And then the rest of it is wood, and it's got these LED lights. Looks like this one popped off a little bit, so I'll have to glue that back in place, no big deal. They used glue to put the light on there, so I'll just use glue to put it back where it belongs. All right, so let's get this up on the table and get a better look at it. All right, so we've got the bridge on the table, and by the way, I was able to fix that light. I just got out some CA glue and glued it back down, and now it's as good as new, no big deal. And by the way, I've said this before, but whenever you buy a structure from Menards, be it a bridge or a building or anything else, you need to know that it's not uncommon for there to be a loose piece or two when you take it out of the box. Sometimes the pieces snap off in shipping, so you just get some super glue, glue it back on, it'll be as good as new, and it's, like I said, no big deal. I know some people get upset about stuff like that, and if this was an expensive model, I could understand that somewhat, but these things are so incredibly affordable. Do you know how much this bridge is? This bridge goes for right at $80 on the Menards website. $80 for a double track lighted bridge with wood and metal construction. That is unbelievable, $80. So for that price, if there was a loose piece or two, who cares? Now, of course, I'm sure Menards could avoid little issues like that if they increased quality control at the factory or if they used fancier, more expensive packaging. But then again, that would cause them to have to increase the price of the bridge. So you have to kind of pick your poison. Do you want to pay more for the bridge, or do you want to invest $2 in a bottle of super glue? I choose the latter. Anyway, soapbox aside, I gotta say this thing is really impressive, especially for the price. The base is metal that's been painted black, and then the structure is sort of a wood/wood composite material. It's kind of like masonite, that's what it reminds me of. And if you look at the support structures, they are very well executed. This is incredibly impressive. If you look at the joints, look at that. They've got rivets etched into the wood, and not just on the big joints. They've got them on the small joints too. Little teeny rivet holes etched into the wood. It's amazing. Now, the power port for the bridge is right down here. And to power the bridge, you need to have a 4.5 volt DC power supply. And this is one of the power supplies that is sold separately by Menards. They've actually got a couple power supplies. The least expensive one is a 1 amp 4.5 volt power supply that runs about $7 or $8. This is the larger 5 amp power supply that runs about $18. And what I've been told by Menards is that if you're only planning on powering one structure, like a bridge or a building, the 1 amp power supply will be just fine. If you're going to power multiple structures with one of their expansion kits, then you'll want to get one of the 5 amp supplies. But let me go ahead and plug this up and you'll see what it looks like when the lights come on. So the plug goes in right here. And I don't know if you can tell with the lights on, but we've got 4 flashing lights. Let me go ahead and dim the room lights and maybe you'll be able to see it a little better. So with the room lights dimmed, hopefully you can see these 4 flashing lights a little better. They look great. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you the bridge in action today because I don't have a spot on my layout where I can install this bridge at the moment. Now, there is one spot on my layout where I'm thinking of installing this, but it will require some extensive renovations and demolition and so forth to get it installed. Actually, if you look at the top right corner of the video, you can see part of the creek that's in the main room here. And that creek runs under a good deal of track here in the main room. I always just said, well, it just runs into a culvert which goes under the track. But I may actually extend the creek and rip up some of the track and install this bridge over the creek in that area. But again, that'll take a lot of time and I can't do that or show that today. But what I will do is show you some different track systems on this bridge because it is a double track bridge. And I'm sure people want to know, well, will it fit my Lionel track or my Atlas track or what have you? On the box it says this is a double track bridge that can support Lionel Fast Track, and since Lionel Fast Track is really the most real estate hungry track there is, if you can do double track with Fast Track, you can do any other brand of track as well. But anyway, we'll go ahead and put a couple brands of track on this bridge just to show you, and maybe we'll put a boxcar or an engine on the track just to show you what it might look like in action. Here it is with Fast Track, and I've got an engine and a boxcar on the track just to show you there's plenty of room. I can fit my hand between these 2 tracks, and there's plenty of room on either side as well, so it'll work just fine with Fast Track. It's the same story with MTH Real Tracks. In fact, I think there's even more room to spare with the Real Tracks. Here's Atlas Track, which is what I use on my layout. And finally, here's some traditional Lionel 027 O-gauge track. Again, no issues. Now, I don't have any Gargraves or Ross or MTH scale track to show you, but regardless, whatever track system you may have, I guarantee it'll work just fine on this bridge. Anyway, that about does it for this review. I'm sorry I couldn't show you any cool action shots with the bridge installed on the layout, but that'll have to wait for a later date. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this bridge, especially for the price. Again, if you want to get one of these, the price is right at $80. And from time to time, Menards will actually do mail-in rebate programs, and you can actually get it for less than $80. For example, right now, in mid-December 2019, they're doing a rebate, and you can actually get this for right at $72. So if you want to pick one of these up as well as these separately sold power adapters, you can do that at the Menards website at www.menards.com. Anyway, if you'd like to support this channel, I would definitely appreciate that. You can do that through Patreon at www.patreon.com/ericstrains. I'd like to put a big thank you out there to all of my current Patreon supporters. Your support means the world to me and to the future of this channel. And finally, if you'd like to pick up an Eric's Trains t-shirt or anything else I might be selling, check out the Eric's Trains online store at www.ericstrains.com/store. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm Eric Siegel, and I'll see you next time.